Oh, you can't hear me now? Yes, you can hear me now. All right, all right, all right. Welcome to another edition of Shabbat Lounge. This is Matt.
And Jake here.
I spoke too soon, Jake.
That's okay.
Yeah, yeah. I've been known to do that.
We'll fix it in post.
That's right. Yeah, yeah. I've been known to speak too soon and speak too often and speak too loud and speak too much.
And hence, we need a podcast channel, right?
That's right. Well, we're glad you're here. And so, Jake, what do we do?
So this is, we do things, we're people. But right now we're going through our Revelation study. And so you can follow along at sabbathlounge.com. Click that teaching tab, go down to Revelation study, and you'll find us. We're right now in chapter 17. So if you missed the previous chapters, go back and take a look at those. So this is to be used as just kind of a study guide. This isn't going to necessarily teach you new special things. It's just going to help you kind of, while you're reading through Revelation, kind of mix up some similar verses that are talked about elsewhere in the Bible, and that will help you kind of put these pieces together, because there's a lot of symbolism and, recurring themes that go on.
Yeah, we hope you can use this piece as a research piece to aid you in your own personal study. Not that we claim to be an expert on anything, but we're just a couple of guys trying to figure it out like you are.
That's right.
And so,
unless you're a woman.
Unless you're a woman, yes, and we can't relate. But when it comes to this, I found this website here, Revelation Logic. It's a commentary on Revelation, and it's pretty good. I liked a lot of the information they had on here. My screen went blank. So, great.
We didn't need that screen anyway.
That's right. So, this monitor that I use, Jake, it sometimes just randomly turns off. So
that's useful, especially in a case like right now.
That's right. It comes in really handy, and just when you need it the most, it fails you the most.
But the point is that this website has, there it is, Revelation Logic, commentary on Revelation. So this is set up, it looks like, to talk about the 7 heads and 10 horns. That sounds very similar to what we're going to be getting into today, and something we've talked about previously. Yeah.
And it goes through the different chapters, similar. It brings up a lot of the same scriptures that we've used, and it specifically has chapter 17 in here right there. So we're not going to read all that, but that's for you if you would like. So,
and there's a link there on the page, right?
Yeah, at the bottom of the page, you'll find a link to that.
Okay.
So what I don't have a link to is the Revelation, but I'd highly recommend you do this paper or pencil. But, if you're younger, you may do this in a note app or something on your phone. And I've done it that way too, but I like paper pencil now.
Yeah.
I used to do everything on the digital note, but I don't know. It has
something real about paper pencil.
That's right. I think I'll learn it better. I think when I just type it in my phone and save it electronically, it's not the same as the actual physical motion of writing things down on paper.
Right.
So that has nothing to do with Babylon the Great.
We'll see. Don't give away the ending there,
That's
man.
right. Don't give away the ending. So I've been known to do that too. All right, so Revelation 17:1, Babylon the Great.
All right, I'll start. One of the 7 angels who held the 7 bowls came and said to me, "Come, I will show you the judgment of that notorious prostitute who sits on raging waters. The kings of the earth had sex with her, and those living on earth became drunk on the wine of her sexual sins." Then the angel carried me by his power into the wilderness. I saw a woman sitting on a bright red beast covered with insulting names. It had 7 heads and 10 horns. The woman wore purple clothes, bright red clothes, gold jewelry, gems and pearls. In her hand, she was holding a gold cup filled with detestable and evil things from her sexual sins. A name was written on her forehead. The name was Mystery, Babylon the Great, the mother of prostitutes and detestable things of the earth. That's quite the name there. I saw that the woman was drunk with the blood of God's holy people and of those who testify about Yeshua. I was very surprised when I saw her.
Was it the Statue of Liberty?
I mean, I'm not saying it wasn't.
Yeah. But definitely it's easy to see possibly America's role in this. That's not too hard to see how we might be connected to this, especially the part of the, look at who the number one sex exporter in the world is, and I'm pretty sure that tends to be the United States year after year, as far as consumer of pornography and just lots of bad things like that. We seem to be like the world capital of those things.
Seems to be.
Not that it doesn't happen in other places, but that definitely seems like
we've cornered the market.
Yes, and people come here for that. So anyway, I don't know. Put your thoughts, your comments on that. And then in verse 7, the angel asked me, "Why are you surprised? I will tell you the mystery of the woman and the beast with the 7 heads and the 10 horns that carries her. You saw the beast which once was, is no longer, and will come from the bottomless pit and go to destruction." Is that kind of like what has been will be again?
It's, same kind of...
Didn't that get said by some political candidate over and over?
Oh, you mean be unburdened by what has been? Or...
Yes. Yes, it's kind of like that, but no, not. So I'm going to repeat that since I kind of alluded it. You saw the beast which once was, is no longer, and will come from the bottomless pit and go to its destruction. Those living on earth whose names were not written in the book of life when the world was created will be surprised when they see the beast, because it was, is no longer, and will come again. Okay, there's some mystery there. In this situation, a wise mind is needed. The 7 heads are the 7 mountains on which the woman is sitting. There are also the 7 kings. 5 of them have fallen, 1 is ruling now, and the other has not come. And I think this is the part where the Decepticons come flying down from the sky.
Right.
So, but
I mean, what a name. Decepticons.
Right.
Really?
And isn't that a line? Don't they say something like that at the beginning of the first Transformers, where they talk about 5 of them have fallen?
It's been a long time since I've watched
something
that,
like that.
Possibly once ever.
Yeah. Well, when he
I
comes,
need to do more research on that, I guess.
Maybe so. When he comes, he must remain for a little while. The beast that was and is no longer is the 8th king. It belongs with the 7 kings and goes to its destruction.
So it sounds like these kings are bad.
Yeah, I'm not thinking they're good.
The 10 horns that you saw are 10 kings who have not yet started to rule. They will receive authority to rule as kings with the beast for 1 hour. They have one purpose, to give their power and authority to the beast. They will go to war against the Lamb. The Lamb will conquer them because he is master of masters and king of kings. Those who are called, chosen, and faithful are with him. The angel also said to me, "The waters you saw on which the prostitute is sitting are people, crowds, nations, and languages. The 10 horns and the beast you saw will hate the prostitute. They will leave her abandoned and naked. They will eat her flesh and burn her up in a fire. Elohim has made them do what he wants them to do. So they will give their kingdom to the beast until Elohim's words are carried out. The woman you saw is the important city which dominates the kings of the earth."
All right, so what's the important city? What do you think? Washington, D.C.
Well, that's Matt's horse in the race.
No, it's not.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I think that has to be Jerusalem.
I think I feel like this
I
is
don't know.
going to be coming for Jerusalem in a way. I think it's I feel like it's outside of Israel,
Maybe.
but I'm not sure.
Let us know what your thoughts are, but definitely, it's not hard to see how this could be something like America, because it's pretty easy to see how over time, the more we meddle in other people's affairs, that kind of makes us unpopular when we come into these places and come in with brute force and lots of military might and try to force our will on other people. They don't usually like it. And so through time, we kind of made some enemies, and makes sense that, but I don't know. I don't know. Just a possibility.
Yeah, there's a lot in here, and it's, really interesting imagery and very detailed.
Especially this thing is repeated. So this is important because it says it so many times about something that is no longer, and will come again.
Right.
So it's like, huh? So it was here, and then it went away, and then it comes again.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
So then we'll flip back over to these notes that we have, and let's see if we can see them. Yep. Looks like you can see them, and maybe make it bigger.
Yes.
Because it's a little small. How does that look? We have no feedback over here. That's probably big enough to read.
Oh, yeah, that looks beautiful.
Yeah, I can read that with my glasses off, I think.
I can't even tell that you're sitting there with my glasses off, so.
Okay.
I'll be leaving them suckers on.
So you're like the guy that said the people seem like trees when he was getting his sight back.
Yeah. Yep. Everything looks like Bigfoot to me with my glasses on.
Okay. That's why you're so good at hunting Bigfoot.
That's right. Okay. So Revelation 17:1, one of the 7 angels who held the 7 bowls came and said to me, "Come, I will show you the judgment of that notorious prostitute who sits on raging waters." So it doesn't tell us which of the 7 angels, right? Just one of them?
No.
Okay. So this ties to Isaiah 1:21. How the faithful town has become a prostitute. She was full of justice and righteousness lived in her, but now murderers live there. Jeremiah 2 verse 20. Long ago you broke off your yoke, tore off your chains, and said that you wouldn't be a slave. You lay down and acted like a prostitute on every high hill and under every large tree.
And I do believe your context in Isaiah here of the town is probably Jerusalem, most likely.
That seems like it there. All right, Jeremiah 51:13. Babylon, you live beside many rivers and are rich with treasures, but your end has come. The thread of your life has been cut off. And then Nahum 3:4. Because of Nineveh's constant prostitution, this very charming mistress of evil magic, she used to sell nations her prostitution and people her evil magic.
Yeah, definitely a theme of prostitute here, and it's not in a good context. Like when is it usually in a good context?
I don't know. I was kind of wondering myself.
Yeah, I can't think of a good one. I can think of terrible ones where this, like movies like Pretty Woman, where it was meant to be this great story, but it was really terrible.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
It's supposed to be a great redemption story.
Yeah.
It's like, hang on.
Yeah. But anyway, I also really dated myself. All right. Revelation 17:2, the kings of the earth had sex with her, and those living on earth became drunk on the wine of her sexual sins. And Jeremiah 51:7 says, Babylon was a golden cup in Yahweh's hand. It made the whole world drunk. The nations drank its wine. That's why the nations have gone insane.
Hey, that's today.
Yeah. And so definitely tells you it's Babylon. And is America Babylon? I know Rob Skiba certainly thought that.
I think there's a lot of Babylonian symbolism that would make one think such a thought.
Well, there's a lot of Roman symbology and a lot of Egyptian symbology, which all
we kind of have
connected
all of it. So that's
to where it all started. Well, it's all connected back to where it started in Babylon.
Right.
So it all comes back to that.
Yeah.
Daniel 7:7-8. So a lot of Daniel in here. After I saw this, I saw a fourth animal in my vision during the night. It was terrifying, dreadful, extraordinarily strong, and had large iron teeth. It devoured and crushed its victims and trampled whatever is left. It acted differently from all the other animals that I had seen before. It had 10 horns. While I was thinking about the 10 horns, another horn, a little horn, came up amongst them. It rooted 3 of the other horns. This horn had eyes like human eyes and a mouth that spoke impressive things. But I think in some scriptures it says it's a bragging horn. Daniel 7:25, he will speak against Elion, oppress the holy people of Eliah, in the plan to change the appointed times and laws. The holy people will be handed over to him for a time, times, and half of a time. Revelation 18:9, the kings of the earth had sex with her and lived with her in luxury, will cry and mourn over her when they see the smoke rise from her raging fire.
Right. So this change the appointed times and laws. You see that other places with the seeks to change times. You know, that theme shows up a lot. But I think one of the things that my wife has noticed is it's very difficult for her to get a good planner that doesn't start on a Monday, which is kind of odd because the week starts on Sunday. But typically with planners, they're trying to get you through a work week, so they'll start it on Monday. But and it sounds like a subtle shift. However, now you've thrown the days off, and you have people growing up in this generation who are using those planners. They always think of, I don't know about you, but when I was little, I was like a little dumbfounded when I found out Sunday was the first day of the week. Like, oh, Monday is not the first day? But it seems like they're kind of pushing more of that Monday as the first day of the week, which would make, in your mind, Sunday be the 7th day of the week. And that's a changing of times. And I'm not sure if that actually goes anywhere, but it's just something that maybe keep an eye out for.
Well, you can make an argument just like today. I don't know when you're watching all this, but One for Israel did a thing about talking about Jewish people learning about the Messiah and realizing that the Messiah was not what they had been told, and he really is Jewish and didn't change things. But unfortunately, there are a lot of people that have made a Messiah that changed the times and the laws. And you can make an argument that the modern Messiah has changed the appointed times from Yah's feast to Christmas and Easter. It's not too hard to see that now. That like we've talked about before, that's not a conversation that we have with just anybody. You have to be careful. I wouldn't just go around saying all that. You'll make friends and family and loved ones kind of mad, and they might hate you and
not care of anything else you have to say.
Yeah.
And now you've sullied your witness.
Yeah, like maybe forever, or for a very long time. So, but it's something to ponder, and it's definitely something to consider. So anyway, it's a hard thing to wrap your mind around, especially if you grew up in traditional church like we did. But I think it's a valid point, something to look at.
Yeah. All right. Revelation 17:3. Then the angel carried me by his power into the wilderness. I saw a woman sitting on a bright red beast covered with insulting names. It had 7 heads and 10 horns. Daniel 7:8 we read. So we'll go to Revelation 12:6. Then the woman fled into the wilderness where Elohim had prepared a place for her so that she might be taken care of for 1,260 days. And then Revelation 12:14, the woman was given the 2 wings of the large eagle in order to fly away from the snake to her place in the wilderness, where she could be taken care of for a time, times, and half a time.
And isn't it interesting that this scripture here is very similar to Ishmael?
Oh, yeah.
I've always seen a tie-in to that, and where he takes care of Hagar
yeah.
and Ishmael out in the desert. So interesting.
Yeah, in this case, I think the woman in Revelation 12 is a good guy. The woman in Revelation 17 is an opposite of that woman.
This is a wholesome woman. Yeah. Yeah. And then we go into Revelation 17:4. The woman wore purple clothes, bright red clothes, gold jewelry, gems, and pearls. In her hand, she was holding a cup filled with detestable and evil things from her sexual sins. Gross. Ezekiel 28:13. You were in Eden, Elohim's garden. You were covered with every kind of precious stone, red quartz, topaz, crystal, beryl, onyx, gray quartz, sapphire, turquoise, and emerald. Your settings and your sockets were made of gold when you were created. Also, those are the colors on the ephod and the layers of the foundation of the city in Jerusalem, or the new Jerusalem as it descends.
Right. So this in Ezekiel 28, this is talking about a king, right?
Tyre.
And it's right. And but it's...
Most people believe it's Satan. There's like a crossover.
Right. And he's almost giving the king of Tyre, showing him that he's been satanically influenced. Is kind of the way it's speaking there. So go read the context there.
Yeah, I think one could make an argument that the king of Tyre is like Nimrod, and he became a Gibborim or something. There's something weird going on there. So Jeremiah 51:7, Babylon was a golden cup in Yahweh's hand. I think we read that, didn't we? Yeah, because the whole world's going insane.
Yep.
1 Peter 3:2-3, their husbands would see how pure and reverent their lives were. Wives must not let their beauty be something external. Beauty doesn't come from hairstyles, gold jewelry, or clothes. Seems to be kind of opposite of what you're seeing in this woman.
Right.
And then 1 Timothy 2:9, I want women to show their beauty by dressing in appropriate clothes that are modest and respectable. Their beauty will be shown by what they do, not by their hairstyles or their gold jewelry, pearls, or expensive clothes they wear. 2 Thessalonians.
That's why I give my wife sackcloth.
Yeah, I'm sure she appreciates that. So, but it's the anti-chafing sackcloth.
Right.
So
she can wear, nice linens under that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because when I picture sackcloth, I do not picture comfort.
No.
I picture scratchy.
Yeah.
And uncomfortable.
And she has to have dirt on her face too.
Yeah. Oof, that's a rough life you got there. But 2 Thessalonians 2:7, the mystery of this sin is already at work, but it cannot work effectively until the person now holding it back goes out of the way. Revelation 19:8, she's been given the privilege of wearing dazzling, pure linen. This fine linen represents the things that Yah's holy people do have his approval. So, interesting enough, I was around, I will not say this gentleman's name, but I was around a TV televangelist today. We're doing work at his house, and it was kind of interesting. I don't know that I agree with a lot of things that he is. In fact, it's easy. I'll say this: it's easy to look at some of these people sometimes and go, "Oh, they're awful, they're terrible," but meeting this person face to face, he did seem to be genuine and have a concern for people and being away from God. And he talked about how when he goes on walks in his neighborhood, everybody in his neighborhood is like, "Oh, there's a preacher guy," and it kind of sounds like everybody's probably scurrying away because they know they're fixing to hear about Jesus or something. And he said he tells a lot of the young ladies that he sees walking, he says he will tell them, let me tell you, don't even consider a young man for a husband or even someone you date that doesn't love Jesus more than he loves you. And I was like, that's fair. That's a good thing to say. So,
Yeah.
So anyway, I don't know.
On that point, I think
it does go with this scripture though.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think
because I thought that's what he was gonna say, and then he didn't say that.
Okay, yeah.
So.
Well, I kind of thought that's where you were going too. So.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's a good point though about meeting the guy and him being a person. I think a lot of times we see stuff online or on TV and we're like, we start to put them in this other position instead of recognizing they're real people with real issues, real problems, real loves in their lives and that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you got the long one.
Perfect. All right, Revelation 17:5. A name was written on her forehead. The name was Mystery, Babylon the Great, the mother of prostitutes and detestable things of the earth.
Not really a mystery if it's written on her forehead.
That's a good point. All right, Isaiah 1:21. How the faithful town has become a prostitute. She was full of justice and righteousness lived in her, but now murderers live there. So we read that one already. Isaiah
is Jerusalem.
Yeah. Isaiah 23:15-16. When that day comes, Tyre will be forgotten for 70 years, the lifetime of one king. At the end of the 70 years, Tyre will be like the prostitute in this song. And then he's going to go sing that song. Take your lyre, go around in the city, you forgotten prostitute. Make sweet music, sing many songs so that you'll be remembered.
I bet that's a beautiful song.
Yeah. For some reason, I picture it as kind of Irish, like an Irish
something. Then somebody's just kind of frolicking around.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Ezekiel 16:15. But you trusted your beauty and you used your fame to become a prostitute. You had sex with everyone who walked by. Ezekiel 23:3. They became prostitutes in Egypt when they were young. Their men fondled and caressed their breasts. Jeremiah 3:1-3. A saying, if a man divorces his wife and she leaves him and marries another man, her first husband shouldn't go back to her again. The land would become thoroughly polluted. You have acted like a prostitute who has many lovers. And now you want to come back to me, declares Yahweh. Look at the bare hills and see you have had sex with men in every place. You sat by the roadside waiting for them like a nomad in the desert. You have polluted the land with your prostitution and wickedness. So the rain has been withheld and there have been no spring showers. Yet you have the shameless look of a prostitute and you refuse to blush. Man, what a dressing down. Go up a little. Okay. So I think something to consider is this kind of a verse. When you look at, remember we read about early in Revelation about the city coming down from heaven and that being the bride of the Messiah. Here, he's clearly talking about the people. He's not talking about the land being the bride.
Yeah.
The people are acting like prostitutes and they're disgracing the land by their prostitution. But it's them that are the one that left the husband.
Yeah. Yeah. And not only, I mean, they're like they're not even hiding it. I mean, they're just like out in the open, public, on the roadside.
Right.
That's gross.
That's gross. Okay, Jeremiah 3, 8, and 9. Judah saw that I sent unfaithful Israel away because of her adultery, and that I gave Israel her divorce papers. But treacherous Judah, her sister, wasn't afraid. She also acted like a prostitute. Because she wasn't concerned about acting like a prostitute, she polluted the land and committed adultery with standing stones and wood pillars. Matt, how does land act like a prostitute?
Well, it doesn't. It must be the people who live in that land.
That's what it seems like to me.
Yeah.
All right, Nahum 3:4 we read. 2 Thessalonians 2:7. The mystery of this sin is already at work, but it cannot work effectively until the person now holding it back gets out of the way.
Revelation 17:6, I saw the woman was drunk with the blood of God's holy people and all of those who testify about Yeshua. I was very surprised when I saw her. Deuteronomy 32:42, my arrows will drip with blood from those who were killed and taken captive. My sword will cut off the heads of the enemy who vowed to fight. Isaiah 49:26, I will make your oppressors eat their own flesh, and they will become drunk on their own blood, as though it were new wine. Then all of humanity will know that I am Yahweh who saves you, the mighty one of Jacob, who reclaims you. Isaiah 63:6, in my anger I trampled on people, in my wrath I made them drunk, and poured their blood on the ground. Ezekiel 39:19, you can eat the best meat until you're full, and drink blood until you are drunk at the sacrifice that I'm preparing for you. Jeremiah 51:7, Babylon was a golden cup in Yahweh's hands. We've read that too.
Right.
So, but definitely, it's not good.
Yeah, and this is, I believe, one of the reasons that the Nazirite vow has to do with not drinking grapes or wine. I think that plays a part in it, in talking about something like this. And I think you want to look at the tie-ins of grape harvest in the feast days and that kind of thing. Because the only way that they could really preserve the grape harvest was to make wine out of it. Otherwise, it would spoil.
Yeah.
So I think those are important things to think about while you're reading through this here, because typically wine is mentioned as, like, in, I believe it's Psalm 119, maybe, talks about the blood of the grape. No, it's a Song of Moses, Deuteronomy 32. Talks about the precious blood of the grape, and that would be the wine, right?
Well, we read not long ago, was it Revelation 14, about the blood in the grapes basically being trampled. Well, we talked about the song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's why I think grapes are an important part of the symbolism that Yah is trying to use to point to events like this.
Your turn?
Oh, is it my turn? Revelation 17:7. The angel asked me, why are you surprised? I will tell you the mystery of the woman and the beast with the 7 heads and the 10 horns that carries her. So he's going to tell you the mystery. Daniel 2:19. The secret was revealed to Daniel in a vision during the night. So Daniel praised the Elah of heaven. Daniel 2:47. The king said to Daniel, your Elah is truly the greatest of Elohim, the master over kings. He can reveal the secrets because you were able to reveal this secret. Daniel 4:6. So I ordered all the wise advisors in Babylon to be brought to me to tell me the dream's meaning. Daniel 4:30, the king thought, look how great Babylon is. I built a royal palace by my own impressive power and for my glorious honor. Daniel 7:7, after this I saw a 4th animal in my vision during the night. We read this earlier. So Daniel 7:16 and 17. I went to someone who was standing there and asked him to tell me the truth about all this. So he told me what all this meant. He said, these 4 large animals are 4 kingdoms that will rise to power on the earth. Matthew 25:34. Then the king will say to those on his right, "Come, my father has blessed you. Inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the creation of the world." And then Revelation 17:18. The woman you saw is the important city which dominates the kings of the earth, which is this chapter that we're reading right now.
Yep. Revelation 17:8. You saw the beast which once was, is no longer, and will come from the bottomless pit and go to its destruction. Those living on earth whose names were not written in the book of life when the world was created will be surprised when they see the beast, because it was, is no longer, and will come again. Psalm 69:28. Let their names be erased from the book of life. Do not let them be listed with righteous people. Daniel 7:7. After this I saw a fourth animal. We've seen that several times here. And then Daniel 7:8. While I was thinking about the horns, another little horn came up amongst them. We read about that one too, about the bragging horn. And then Daniel 7:11. I continued to watch because of the impressive words that the horn was speaking. I watched until the animal was killed. Its body was destroyed and put into a raging fire. Daniel 7:17, he said, these four large animals are four kingdoms that will rise to power on earth. Daniel 7:23 says, he said, the fourth animal will be the fourth of these kingdoms on earth. It will be different from all the other kingdoms. It will devour, trample, and crush the whole world. Daniel 7:26 says, but judgment will be handed down. His power will be taken away, and he will be completely and permanently destroyed. Yay. In Matthew 25:34, then the king will say to those on his right, come, my father has blessed you. Inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the creation of the world.
Bam. All right, Revelation 17:9. In this situation, a wise mind is needed. The 7 heads are 7 mountains on which the woman is sitting. So the 7 heads are 7 mountains. Okay, he informed me, Daniel 9:22 and 23. Daniel, this time I have come to give you insight. As soon as you began to make your request, a reply was sent. I have come to give you the reply because you are highly respected. So study the message and understand the vision. And then Daniel 9:25. Learn then and understand that from the time the command is given to restore and rebuild Jerusalem until the appointed prince comes, 7 sets of 7 time periods and 62 sets of 7 time periods will pass. Jerusalem will be restored and rebuilt with a city square and a moat during the troubles of those times. Daniel 11:33. People who are wise will help many to understand, but for some time they will be defeated by swords and flames. They will be captured and looted. Daniel 12:10. Many will be purified, made white and refined, but wicked people will do wicked things, and none of them will understand. Only wise people will understand. That's interesting. The wicked people doing wicked things, and they don't really understand what they're doing. And then reminds me of what Yeshua says. He prays for them. Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. That kind of a situation. I mean, once you're turned over to your depraved mind, it's,
not good.
Yeah. You're not full of understanding at that point.
And I'm not sure that you come back from that either. Maybe there's hope. Revelation 17:10. They are also 7 kings. 5 of them have fallen. One is ruling now, and the other has not come. When he comes, he must remain for a little while. Daniel 7:4-7. The first animal was like a lion. It had wings like an eagle. I watched until its wings were plucked off, and it was lifted off the ground. It was made to stand on 2 feet like a human, and was given a human mind. I saw a second animal. It looked like a bear. It was raised on one side and had 3 ribs in its mouth between its teeth. it was told, "Get up and eat as much meat as you want." After this, I saw another animal. It looked like a leopard. On its back, it had 4 wings, like the wings of a bird. The animal also had 4 heads. It was given power to rule. After this, I saw a fourth animal in my vision during the night. It was terrifying, dreadful, extraordinarily strong, and had large iron teeth. It devoured and crushed people.
Yeah, 7 we've read before.
We did read that. Daniel 7:17, he said, "These are 4 large animals, or 4 kingdoms that will rise to power on earth."
Yeah, so the 7 go up to 9, I guess. Yeah, the 7 heads are 7 mountains on which the woman is sitting. And then scroll down. They're also 7 kings. Okay.
And, you know, I think, what is it, the preterist view, they would say something like those 7 mountains were the 7 mountains, because what's, isn't Rome, that's what they say about Rome. It's 7 hills of Rome or something. I think I've heard that before. So I think that's part of what they used to say.
All right. I think we're at 11.
Oh.
1711. The beast that was and is no longer is the 8th king. It belongs with the 7 kings and goes to its destruction. So that ties with Daniel 7:19-20. A lot of Daniel 7 going on. Then I wanted to know the truth about the 4th animal, which was so different from all the others. It was very terrifying. Had iron teeth and bronze claws. It devoured and crushed its victims and trampled whatever was left. I also wanted to know about the 10 horns on its head, and about the other horn that had come up and made 3 of the horns fall out. So we read this. Horn had eyes and a mouth, spoke impressive things.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think on the next one, more Daniel 7 there.
Yeah, Revelation 17:12. The 10 horns you saw are the 10 kings who have not started to rule. They will receive authority to rule as kings with the beast for 1 hour.
Is that a literal hour?
You know, how much time would that be if a day is how long to y'all? 1,000
If
years?
a day is 1,000 years.
So, I don't know.
1/24 of 1,000.
Mm-hmm. So 1,000 divided by 24.
Yeah.
Yeah. Engineer Jake, I bet you could do that.
It's 1 million.
1 million. I don't think so.
Put it in the comments.
Yeah. Daniel 7:20. I also wanted to know about the 10 horns on the head and the other horn that came up that made the 3 horns fall out. The horn that had eyes and mouth. Okay, we've spoken that one several times.
We've spoken it.
Daniel 7:24. The 10 horns or 10 kings will rise to power from that kingdom. Another king will rise to power. He will be different from the other kings that came before him, and he will humble 3 kings. 1 Timothy 6:15. At the right time, Yahweh will make this known. Yahweh is the blessed and only ruler. He is the King of kings and Master of masters.
So it would be 40. Looked at that 3 times now. 41 and 2/3 years. I think is what it would work out to be.
Still a long time.
Yes. Okay. You'll receive authority to rule as kings with the beast for 1 hour. I feel like that's a long time for a king to rule, especially nowadays.
Yeah.
All right, Revelation 17:13. They have one purpose, to give their power and authority to the beast. See 2 Thessalonians 2:11. That's why Elohim will send them a powerful delusion, so that they will believe a lie.
So that does seem to be connected, because they've got this purpose, they've got this power and authority, and part of this power and authority is this powerful delusion, and they believe it.
Mm-hmm.
Revelation 17:14, they will go to war against the Lamb. The Lamb will conquer them because he is Lord of lords and King of kings. Those who are called chosen and faithful are with him. Daniel 4:37. Now I, Nebuchadnezzar, will praise, honor, and give glory to the King of heaven. Everything he does is true, his ways are right, and he can humiliate those who act arrogantly, which he knew firsthand.
Yeah.
Daniel 7:21 through 22. I saw that horn making war against the holy people and defeating them. It did this until the Ancient One, who has lived endless years, came and judged in favor of the holy people of Elyon. The time came when the holy people took possession of the kingdom. It makes me think of all those things we read about taking possession of the land.
Yeah.
Daniel 8:25. He will cleverly use his power to deceive others successfully. He will consider himself to be great and destroy many people when they don't expect it. He will oppose the commander of commanders, but he will be defeated, though not by any human power. I think it will be very obvious.
It'll be ballistic missiles.
No. Matthew 22:14. Therefore many are invited, but few of those are chosen to stay. 1 Timothy 6:5. In conflict between people whose corrupt minds have been robbed of truth, they think a godly life is a way to make a profit. Ooh, ouch. There are some people today that do that. Anything else?
Nope, just letting that one soak in a little. Okay, Revelation 17:15. The angel also said to me, the waters you saw, on which the prostitute is sitting, are people, crowds, nations, and languages. So it's not this giant woman sitting in mountains with a river flowing from underneath her. They seem to mean something else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, this is talking about waters.
So the waters are people.
People, crowds, nations, languages.
Yeah, and I think we see that many other times. I think we'll see it here, but yeah, a lot of times when you see the sea or the ocean or the Nile is one too. It's talking about people. All right, Isaiah 8:7. That is why Adonai is going to bring against them the raging and powerful floodwaters of the Euphrates River. The king of Assyria with all his power, it will overflow all its channels and go over all its banks. Jeremiah 47:2. This is what Yahweh says. Water is rising in the north. It will become an overflowing river. It will overflow the land and everything in it, the cities and those who live in them. People will cry out, and everyone who lives in the land will cry loudly. Jeremiah 51:42. What a horrifying sight Babylon will be to the nations. The sea will rise over Babylon, and its roaring waves will cover it. And then 51:13 of Jeremiah. Babylon, you live beside many rivers and are rich with treasures, but your end has come. The thread of your life has been cut off.
Dun, dun, dun. Well, I have firsthand experience with one of these today. So this one, I had a lady call me out because she wanted a retaining wall, and she had a creek bank in their backyard that had done this, and it had overflowed and was kind of changing course, and it was almost taking up real estate in her backyard, but not quite. And so it was just it was a beautiful spot, and she had this backyard that went down to the creek, and then it was like a good 10-15 foot drop to the bottom of the creek, almost straight down. It was kind of a cliff, but it was it was all kind of sand material. It was loose material, and she wanted this quote on the retaining wall. This lady was going to build a retaining wall on land that she didn't own, and I tried to talk her out of it. I was like, why would you spend money on this? You don't even own this land. And but the whole thing about water is so powerful, and we saw it in North Carolina. That's what I kept thinking about today, and I think about that when I read the scripture, are those scenes out of North Carolina where the river, I mean, when it does that, no engineering by human hands is stronger than that. It is just an unbelievable force that that it takes everything in its path. You know, the best made, best engineered bridges, whatever it is. I mean, they just get demolished. And so, you know, I think that's what I picture is this. This is, you know, so if you want to know what a raging, powerful floodwater looks like that Isaiah is talking about, I think look at some of those things that happened in North Carolina, and that kind of gives you an idea
Yeah.
of what that is.
Yeah.
And it's
New rivers
scary.
created, new paths
Yeah, yeah.
dug.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy.
And complete total destruction. But you know, I guess my point back to that lady is, you know, and what I told her, I was like, that river's going to do what it's going to do, and you cannot, unless you spend a tremendous amount of money and pay some kind of civil engineer to plan it all out, you can't win this war on this river.
Right.
It's going to take the bank.
Yeah.
Eventually. So anyway.
Yeah, they could get dump truckloads of sand and bring them back to the beach like they do in on the beach.
Yeah, that works well. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
but the water's rising though, Jake.
They got to keep doing that though. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very sustainable.
Right.
Okay. We did all that, right?
I feel like we did that one. Yeah. All right. Is it me?
Yep.
Okay. Revelation 17:16. The 10 horns and the beast you saw will hate the prostitute. They will leave her abandoned and naked. They will eat her flesh and burn her up in a fire. Okay. Ezekiel 16:37. That is why I will gather your lovers with whom you found pleasure. I will have all those who love you and hate you gather around. I will uncover your body for them, and they will see you naked. Ezekiel 16:39. I will hand you over to your lovers. They will destroy your platforms and tear down your illegal worship sites. They will tear off your clothes, take away your beautiful jewelry, and leave you naked and bare. Yeah, that's pretty good parallel there.
I'm not sure about that though, how that ended up in there. I don't know.
No, this is perfect. 2 Corinthians 8:16. I thank Elohim for making Titus as dedicated to you as I am.
Okay.
Bam.
Yeah.
That's like mic drop right there.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. But definitely it's easy to see these tie-ins. This one doesn't go quite as far as Revelation. I mean, eating their flesh and burning her with a fire. I mean, that's pretty rough there.
Yeah, so that kind of reminds me of the when Abraham's fighting off the birds from the carcasses.
Mm-hmm.
But there will be no one to fight off the birds from the flesh.
Yeah. Everybody abandons.
Yeah, I'd go back and read this in conjunction with Ezekiel 16. Take some good notes there, and that'll help you, I think.
Yeah, a good parallel passage. And then I guess I didn't put 17 in there, so I've got it here. So I'll just pop over here. Right here, Jake.
Elohim has made them do what he wants them to do, so they will give their kingdom to the beast until Elohim's words are carried out.
All right. Let me switch back over.
All right. Psalm 2, 2 through 3. Kings take their stands, rulers make plans together against Yahweh and against his Mashiach by saying, let's break apart their chains and shake off their ropes. Ezekiel 16:37. That is why I will gather all your lovers with whom you found pleasure. I will have all those who love you and hate you gather around. I will uncover your body for them, and they will see you naked.
Okay. Revelation 17:18. The woman you saw is the important city which dominates the kings of earth. 1 Kings 10:24. The whole world wanted to listen to the wisdom that Elohim gave Solomon. So, like I said, this is not perfect. Sometimes I'm like, I'm Not sure. Maybe there's some word in Hebrew or something that's connected there, but I wasn't sure. But anyway, this revelation, as you go into it, it gets pretty deep and complicated. But I think that looking at these other scriptures helps give you context, because scripture is not meant to be read as an island in isolation. And if you read it as an island in isolation from the rest of the parts, you're doing it an injustice and you're doing it wrong.
Yeah, I think too, if you're just reading through it, you're not going to pick all this up. You have to go back and study it specifically to pick out what's being said. I like the paper and pencil method. Draw some pictures if it helps you, or make notes about what things represent, so you can go back to it.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. In Revelation, it's definitely interesting, because growing up, I can remember every Bible class I was ever a part of, and maybe you can relate to this too. And the Bible class teachers, what do you guys want to study? Well, we want to study Revelation. And every Bible class teacher is like, not ready for that one.
Yeah.
Can't do that. I'm sure you've heard that before.
Yeah, it's definitely one you want to be humble with when you're looking at it, and just be careful before you go making pronouncements about what thus says Yah.
Yeah, because it is full of symbolism. It's called apocrypha for a reason. Yeah, the more we understand the base of Scripture, the better we understand. The revelation. It's like the more you understand the beginning of the book, the more you understand the end.
Right.
So, anything else there, Jake?
No, that's a good point.
So we will embed this video right here, which we've done with all the others. So we encourage you to click back and forth, so you can go, if you can go back to the previous chapter. You can also go down to the bottom and go to the next one. So, and then I put a link back even to the thing we started with, the 7 heads. Which is pretty good information, and then back to the beginning. So, as always, I will show you this one more time. This is that revelation logic. That's a good place to go. But once again, this is, mankind. Man has written this. So I do think it's good information, but it's still, to be taken with not the same weight as the scripture itself.
Right. So, same with the things we say.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So just kind of go back to, the golden rule of interpretation. If it explains what something is, then that's what it is. Like when it says the heads are mountains and kings, then that's what they are. It's described them for you. So, let the scripture interpret the scripture for you.
Yeah, for sure. That's exactly right.
And that's why it's important to go back to those other mentions of those kind of things.
Yeah. Well, and I do want to close out with a shameless plug, or not so shameless, I don't know. So I do want to encourage you to go pursue Becoming Jacob. It's an audio book. It's also a book in print, and you can click and listen to a sample in Spotify. God calls us all. Yahuwah is calling us out of Babylon into his kingdom, a kingdom that's run by him and not man. We all have a choice. We can choose to be like Jacob and choose the ways of our Heavenly Father, or be like Esau and choose our own path. We are all called to Yahuwah. He pursues us by using people around us. So, anyway, I want to thank Deborine Publishing for helping me with that, and all of you that have read the book. And anyway, if you read it and you like it, I just ask you maybe pass it on to someone else and give them a copy of it. So, But anyway, we do want to point you to the website. We put a lot of information there of different things that we've done. And as always, you can follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, lots of places. And we appreciate it if you like it, if you comment, if you share, if you subscribe, and do all those things.
Yep, that really helps the message get out to people that are looking for this kind of thing. So,
yep. And please put comments and things like that, and questions that you have, if there are topics that you feel like we should do, and if you think we're way off base on something, we welcome you to tell us that.
yes, call us out.
Yep. Well, that's it on Revelation chapter 17, and this is Matt
And Jake.
We're signing out. If I can find the button here.